So today I am going to be talking about time. Because we are heading into a reality that is not limited by time, I think it's good if we start to understand time a little bit more and how we are going to be able to navigate it and move through it, and that it's not going to be a real factor of our reality. So the fact that you're going to be able to slow it down or speed it up or pause it or move through it, however you would like to imagine it. A question could be, how are other people affected? So for example, if I am standing in a room and you are standing in a room, maybe I'm slowing down the time, and you guys are speeding it up a little bit. And let's say we both enter the room at 7 o'clock, but let's say at a certain point on my watch it says 10 past 7, and on yours it says 20 past 7. So people could say, how is that possible? How can you both be in the same place but at different times at the same time? So for example, let's say I leave at 15:15 on my watch, and you leave, or you are still there at 15:15 because you were speeding it up. At 20 past, you're still there. So at 15:15, in the reality, you are still there, but I've exited the room. Sorry, so I was losing my train of thought there. That's why the video was cut. So people could say, but at 20 past, you were still in the room and I was still in the room at the same time, but yet I'm leaving at 15:15. How is that possible? Because then it would be impossible for me to be in the room when your watch reaches 20 past. Well, I'm going to explain it like this. Even though we are all in this reality together, we all still have our own realities, and we create our own reality. So individually, we are living side by side with our realities, my reality, your reality, the next person's reality. We all kind of existing together, but individually. So it's the same as if there's 10 people in the room, they are all in the room together, but they are all individual. They are 10 individual people. The same applies to time and your reality. So to give a good example of how that works, let's say I'm standing on this side of the room and you're standing on that side of the room, and there's a box. So let's say on my side it's painted red and on your side it's painted blue, and your perception of it is only that blue side and mine is the red side. So in my reality the box is red, in your reality the box is blue. It's both correct and it's both existing in the same space, but it's different for me to you. Another example could be right now, if we are standing facing each other in this moment, I would be looking at you and you would be looking at me. Same moments, same space, same time, but our perspectives are completely different. Our realities are completely different, and the same applies to time. Obviously in a 3D reality it's a little bit difficult to wrap our heads around that, but that is how it works, because time is not linear and uniform like it seems in 3D. So yes, we can be in the same room at the same time, talking to each other, interacting, yet for me it is 10 past 7 and for you it is 20 past 7 at the same time. Yeah, and we can both be witnessing each other's reality from a distance. It's one time looking at one reality looking at another reality, just like us standing in a room, me looking at you, you looking at me. It's happening at the same time, but it is completely different. My reality is different to your reality. Your view is different to my view. So I hope that helped explain things quite nicely. So one more thing I'm going to be talking about regarding time is also about being in the state of flow and surrender. So when you're in alignment and you don't force anything, you go with how you feel, because that is how 5D is. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. And yes, I'm not making this up. I am living like that now, basically most of the time. So imagine in a few months, we're all going to be experiencing this. It's very exciting. But before I go off track, so yes, so the states of flow and surrender and time and how they work together. So basically a question I kind of not had, but a question that maybe was just sitting there somewhere in my mind, without me really realizing it too much a while ago, was how can we be in that perfect state of flow and surrender and not force anything and plan certain things ahead? So for example, okay, I'm a musician. Me and my twin flame are a band. We're a two-piece. So we have to plan certain things with that. We have to plan gigs, or gigs are planned, organized for us, or but they're planned. So 2 weeks before, someone could say, okay, do you want to play at my place? Or we approach them and say, can we play at your place in 2 weeks' time? Because you can't just show up and say, okay, we feel like playing now, we feel like performing, let's just do a gig, And I was thinking of it like that. I was thinking, so how can we be in that 5D state constantly and not force anything, but be able to do things like that, be able to, because we love music, it's our passion. So we are enjoying ourselves when we are doing these things, but sometimes you have a lazy day and you don't feel like doing anything. So I was thinking, even though I love music, I love gigging, what if I plan in 2 weeks' time, okay, we have a gig, and then that day I just don't feel like doing anything. I just don't feel like playing. I don't feel like, I feel like maybe just going to the beach, or something completely different, because that happens. People are in different moods, different days, you feel like doing different things. So I was thinking, how is this going to be possible for the two to exist together, and be able to pursue something great or plan something awesome, but then make sure that you're in the state of flow that day that just fits in that frequency. So I got a crazy download just now when I was meditating. Basically, because time is an illusion of this reality, it doesn't limit your knowingness, if I could say it like that. So for example, or not example, let me just try to explain this in more depth. So your higher self, which is the true you, your higher self, your higher awareness, your consciousness, your light, it is not restricted by time. Meaning, it knows when it's going to be in the states of anything. So your higher self knows how it's going to feel in a week's time, and it knows how it's going to feel in an hour's time, because it is not restricted by time. So you have that knowingness that you might not have in the 3D world, with all these things blocking this consciousness, because you have it inside of you. But it's basically like that. I'd never thought about it before. Now. Oh, sorry, now. Because I forget some of you guys are not from South Africa. Now is a thing that South Africans say when you basically, it means in a little bit, or just now. So sorry if I say that a lot. Yeah, I never knew that it was something that other people around the world didn't say. I thought everyone said it, and then the one day I saw something about. Okay, but sorry, I'm losing train of thought again. I'm not sorry. Let's not be apologetic. But thank you for being patient. So yes. So I've realized that is how you can live in harmony with the state of flow. It all starts with being in the flow now and surrendering now. Because when you're in that state, you basically allow your higher self to take the wheel. And your higher self is not restricted by anything of the physical world. So if you ever feel unsure, like, oh, okay, we're planning a gig for 2 weeks time, oh, but what if we don't feel like it? Not that we'd ever say that, we're so stoked every time we get a gig, but this is just an example. Yeah, so we could be like, oh, what if that day we feel like going and having a bonfire? Or if we feel like just going and sitting under a tree? Don't think about it like that, because this opportunity has come up for you, because your higher self knows. If it doesn't feel right, of course, then that doesn't apply. But if it feels right, so us planning a gig, if that feels right, and we're like, oh, yay, we feel good about it, that means you're in alignment, and you're in alignment with your higher self, and your higher self is in alignment with everything, and it's laying it out for you. So that's happening, that's being planned for that moment, because don't think about it like the physical you is busy having to choose, or no, your higher self is aligning everything, because it knows already the state of flow you're going to be in on that day, and it's going to be in harmony with everything that's being planned for you. Well, not being planned for you, because you are planning it yourself, you are your higher self, but I'm just talking like it's two separate things now. But yeah, so that was a great download, I think, that I got just now. It really cleared up a big question I didn't realize I really had till now. Yeah, so don't stress about how am I going to be in the state of flow. Start in the state of flow of now, because it is aligning for your state of flow later. Cool, guys. Sending lots of love and light.